Hello students, welcome to the video Nationalism in Europe Part 2. In 1834, a custom union called Zollverein was formed at the initiative of Prussia. Several German states joined this union. The union abolished tariff barriers and reduced the number of currencies from over 30 to 2. The introduction of railways created mobility leading to the national unification. The creation of a network of railways further stimulated mobility, harnessing economic interest to national unification. It means after the invention of railway, the unification work became very fast. We find that a wave of economic nationalism strengthened the wider nationalist sentiments growing at the time. So, rise of new conservatism and its opposition by the people. Creating the idea of the nation, they used art, painting, poetry, stories, and music played an important role in strengthening the feeling of nationalism. Romanticism was a cultural movement in which the artist romanticized human feelings and emotions. This was done to create a common cultural past as the basis of a nation. Stress was laid on vernacular languages and folklore. This gave communities who were living under the control of other powerful nations a cultural identity. As you can see the picture here, the Polish Polonaise, through the dance, through music, and through the stories, they popularized the movement. And people started developing the sense of nationalism. Now here we see hunger, hardships and revolts. The 1830s were years of great economic hardship in Europe. It was because during the 1830s there was a large scale unemployment in Europe. In most of the European countries, employment opportunities were less, whereas job seekers were many. Cities had come to be extremely overcrowded. As a result, slums had started coming up as more people migrated from the rural to urban areas. Small producers in towns were often faced with stiff competition from the imports of the other countries. Here you can see the picture of the revolt of Silesia in 1845, how people are becoming violent and they are revolting against the ruler. The year 1848 was a year of revolts. These revolts were led by the educated middle class. In the Revolution of February 1848, the French monarch was dethroned, means he was overthrown, and the country became a republic based on universal male suffrage. Male suffrage means here only voting right was given to the men. In other parts of Europe, nation states did not yet exist, such as Germany, Italy, and Poland. They were not a nation state, they were ruled by the monarch. The men and women of the liberal middle classes demanded constitutionalism with national unification. Means they wanted rules and regulations to be followed in a country and it should be considered a nation. In Germany, people of educated middle class came together and decided to vote for all German National Assembly. So here you can see the Frankfurt Assembly. As you can see in the picture, is the Frankfurt Parliament convened in the Church of St. Paul, and women were admitted only as observers. Means they did not have any right of voting right. They have right to view or see. They were as a visitors. And though conservative forces were able to suppress liberal movements in 1848, so they could not restore the old order. Monarchs were beginning to realize that the cycles of revolution and repression could only be ended by granting concession to the liberal nationalist revolutionaries. So hence in the years after 1848, the autocratic monarchies of Central and Eastern Europe began to introduce the changes that had already taken place in Western Europe before 1850. Otto von Bismarck was a conservative German statesman who masterminded the unification of Germany in 1871 and served as its first chancellor until 1890, in which capacity he dominated European affairs for 2 decades. Otto von Bismarck served as Minister of Prussia from 1862 to 73 and 1873 to 1890. and was the founder and first Chancellor of the German Empire. As Chancellor, he pursued pacific policies in foreign affairs, succeeding in preserving the peace in Europe for about 2 decades, but showed authoritarian tendencies in domestic affairs. So, Bismarck was called the architect of Germany. As you can see, united Germany in 1871, which was unified by Otto von Bismarck. Now we'll see about Mazzini, one who unified Italy. Giuseppe Mazzini was an Italian politician, journalist, activist for the unification of Italy, and spearhead of the Italian revolutionary movement. Now you can see he was born in the year 22nd June 1805 in Genoa, Italy, and he died on 10th March 1872 in Pisa, Italy. His nationality was Italian and he was influenced by Jean-Jacques Rousseau, Plato and Carlo Cattaneo. They were all the philosophers. Here you can see Mazzini's. He was an Italian revolutionary. He was also the member of Carbonari, founder of Young Italy and Young Europe. He believed that God intended nations to be the natural units of mankind. So he never accepted monarchical rule, and he described as the most dangerous enemy of the conservative social order.
That's all in this video. We'll continue in the next video.